Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps that I use to become a millionaire through investing in real estate. I'm going to share with you the exact strategies that I use to acquire the first 50 rental units in my portfolio that generate about $25,000 a month in income. If these are the types of real estate strategies that you're interested in learning more about, click the link on this page and subscribe to my channel. We release videos all the time that talk about getting started investing in real estate. So with that out of the way, let's begin. When it comes to getting started investing in real estate, one of the most important things to do on the front end is to get clear on exactly what it is you want to achieve in your real estate investing career. It seems to me that the most logical place to start is with an understanding of rental income or passive income, or what we call cash flow. So once you're clear on the real estate, the property management, the operation of the property, once you're clear on the money and the financial aspect of the property, once you have that binocular vision, you no longer see two areas that are added, but rather you actually see the area in three dimensions. This is where cash flow lives. Cash flow is more than real estate. It's more than money. It's actually an idea. And if you can execute the proper steps in the proper sequence, you too can make your cash flow materialize. That's really all real estate investing is. So some of the best advice that I've gotten over the years in my real estate investing career is this. Take all the money you don't need to live on now and invest it, because you're gonna need it later. So if I had to start out today as a beginner investing in real estate, I would start by purchasing an income producing property, something that is going to pay me back soon after I make my down payment. You always have to keep in mind the time value of money. And the property that I would start with would be a duplex. And the reasons for that are many. First of all, a duplex has 2 units. You're able to apply for a conventional mortgage to actually get into this deal. The same qualifications that you would use to purchase a single family primary residence are pretty much the same process that you would go through to acquire a duplex or a triplex or fourplex, for that matter, anything up to 4 units. You don't have to go through all the trouble of qualifying for commercial financing, which often requires a larger down payment. A duplex is going to have 2 units, and it is going to be exceedingly rare for both people to move out of the unit and leave you with a vacant building and no cash flow for the month. It's not that way with a single family home. If you start out with a single family home and you only have that one renter, if for whatever reason that renter doesn't pay or moves out and it takes you some time to get someone else in, you're going to have to carry that property completely until you can get it rented out again. Actually, when I started my real estate career, my first purchase was a duplex. I was relocating to a city. I knew I would be there for a few years, and so I started to look around, and what I ran across was a duplex that was actually vacant on one side and the other side was rented. So I moved into the vacant side, collected the rent from the other side, and I was able to use that rent to help make some of the mortgage payments. Now at that time, I was actually able to get into the deal with only 5% down. Since this was going to be my primary residence, the banks were a little more friendly. In today's climate, however, most lenders at the time of the recording of this video in mid-2020 are requiring a 20% down payment. So after purchasing that first duplex, about a year later, I did the same thing again. I was able to purchase another duplex, live in one side. Now I'm renting 3 units and living in one of them. I was able to get enough in rent to pretty much cover the mortgage on both properties. But mind you, I'm not making any mortgage payments and I'm not paying any rent. I'm essentially living rent free. So you might say to yourself, well, you own 4 units and you're not making any money on these units? Well, actually I am. There's a concept in real estate known as the 4 wealth generators. First, there's the cash flow. This is the money that is left over every month from the rental income after all of the expenses for the property have been paid. Second, there's the appreciation. Real estate tends to increase in value over time, and most conservative estimates will put appreciation at about 3% per year. And understand that this grows on an exponential curve, meaning the longer you own the property, the faster the value of that property will increase. Then there's the loan paydown. This is the concept of using the rental payments that you get every month to make the mortgage payments on the property. This is also something that is on an exponential growth curve, meaning the longer you own the property, the bigger the percentage of those rents that will be used to actually pay the principal of the mortgage as opposed to the interest of the mortgage. And then there are the tax benefits of owning real estate. Now, we're not going to dive real deep into all of the tax ramifications of owning real estate, but do understand this. If you earn $100,000 in rental income and you earn $100,000 in wage earner income, the amount of tax that you pay on the rental income is going to be vastly, vastly lower than what the wage earner is going to pay on the $100,000 that he makes. So the property actually really started to cash flow well once I moved out. I was able to rent out that fourth unit and actually at that point put a little bit of money in my pocket every month. So like I mentioned previously, most lenders in today's real estate climate are requiring a 20% down payment. So you ask yourself, well, where am I supposed to get all these 20% down payments? Well, that's really going to kind of depend on you. There are many ways you could do it. Napoleon Hill teaches us in his great book, Think and Grow Rich, that the seedlings of many fortunes have their start in the rendering of personal service. So you can go out, get to study 9 to 5, earn wages, and use that as a down payment. You could go out, you could start a business, use the profits from business as a down payment to grow your rental portfolio. If you really want to sharpen your skills as a real estate investor, you can execute a buy, fix, and sell strategy and use the profits from that to make the down payments to grow your rental portfolio. So it's really up to you. All I would say about that is figure out what your biggest opportunity is going to be and just go for it. So how do you know if a real estate transaction is a good deal or not? Well, you just got to learn how to analyze deals. You got to see a lot of deals, you got to see a lot of properties, and once you do, you'll know a good deal when you see one. So what about the property management? I guess you're saying to yourself, well, who's going to manage all these properties? Well, as the owner of the property, hopefully it's not you. Don't get me wrong. When I first started out, I actually managed my first rental property. But keep in mind, it was a duplex. I lived on one side, I rented the other side, and I was right there all the time anyway. So managing that property wasn't a big deal, and it didn't seem prudent to me at the time to pay a property management company to do what little needed to be done. However, as an experienced investor now, what I would say is this: factor in the property management when you're analyzing your deals. If the numbers don't work for you to make a profit when you include the property management in those numbers, walk away from that deal. It's not a good deal. A lot of investors, when they're getting started, they will say to themselves, oh, if I just manage the property myself, this deal will work, the numbers will work. This is a mistake. As an experienced investor, the more properties you acquire, there's going to come a point where you're not going to want to manage this property anymore. And being sure to include the property management on the front end when you're analyzing the deal and making sure you still make a profit is the approach to take. If when you run the numbers on this property, the numbers don't make sense when you include the property management, walk away. It's a bad deal. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to carry a property for a little while, especially if you can foresee that in the not too distant future, you'll be able to perhaps make some renovations and increase the rent or figure out a way to decrease your operating costs or your expenses and generate a profit. When that's the case, you have to decide whether it's worth all the hassle to make this property a part of your portfolio. So take the strategies you've learned here, put them in place, understand them, execute them, scale them, and before you know it, you will be on your way to your first million in real estate investing.